Gilman. Hello, my name is Matthew Lenz. I'm a U.S. State Department Gilman International Scholarship recipient from last year, 2018. I studied in Barcelona in the spring. So I'm a student at Portland State University studying applied linguistics, and my goal after graduation is to teach English as a foreign language. Um, Before doing the study abroad, I had no international experience. My GPA was pretty average. I believe it was below a 3.0 when I applied. Um, I don't have the most direct path to receiving higher education. Kind of got a blue collar background. I also grew up Mormon and queer in a small ranch town in Oregon, and sharing those experiences as part of my essay, I believe, is part of the reason why I got this award. Um, so I'm here to talk about the Benjamin Gilman International Scholarship and how you can fund a study abroad. So some eligibility requirements that you got to know about. You have to have done a FAFSA, so um, make sure that's in order, and then must receive a Pell Grant. So it's only available to students that receive a Pell Grant for their education. Your study abroad has got to be credit bearing, though this scholarship is also available for internships. Um, Coming up, March 5th is a deadline for fall and academic year programs. So if you're looking at a program for fall term or the whole year, your deadline for this scholarship is coming up quick. You'll need to gather letters of recommendation, a certification from the financial aid office, and you'll need to polish a really strong essay where you can connect how your study abroad is going to help you with your future goals, future career goals. If you haven't heard of the Gilman Scholarship, no worries. But I'm here to tell you it's a really great program. So you get your foot in the door at the State Department, and they have a lot of ongoing support. You become part of an alumni network of scholars who are really interested in your professional development, and it gives you access to networking opportunities you wouldn't have otherwise. There are also more prestigious awards that's part of the State Department. Um, so if you have your eye on a Fulbright after graduation, go for the Gilman now, would be my recommendation. So some things that make a really great applicant if you're a first generation college student, if you've never studied abroad before, if you have goals in mind related to your career, if you're a STEM major, and if you're seeking language skills and an immersive cultural experience. So does the program have a homestay? Is the language you're studying one of the State Department's critical languages? All those things are going to give you a competitive edge for other applicants. So here's some stats. Last academic year, Portland Community College had 9 awards granted to students for study abroad. So it's available to people in community college. Here at Portland State, 26 students received an award last year. That's a huge number, and then only 3 from Yale. So I think that gives you an indication of what the point of the Gilman is, and that is to provide people access to study abroad that wouldn't otherwise, and also kind of show off students who wouldn't necessarily get this opportunity, right? So show a different face of America. And that's all goals of the State Department. It's a competitive and prestigious award. So some say it's the most prestigious award you can get for study abroad. So that's another reason why you want this on your resume. So it's possible that one typo can get your application thrown out, right? So that was what I heard going into it. So you want to make sure your essay is really polished and you took some time thinking about it. But then GPA is less important than you might think for such a competitive award. So like I said, mine was not really a standout by any means, but my essay was. So if you can really focus on ways that you can connect this experience to your future career goals, you're going to be a better applicant. And they prefer students with no international experience. So go for it. Even if you think it's a long shot, like I did when I applied, um, you're exactly the type of person that the State Department wants to represent them. For me, I chose Barcelona, specifically the ALBA Study Abroad program. You can find out more at alba.pdx.edu. They are closely associated with PSU, so I got a really great discount because I'm a PSU student, and I ended up doing my study abroad for the same cost it would have been to stay here. Um, so I was like, that's amazing. I'm going to do my cluster requirements abroad. I got my global perspectives cluster while I was there. Um, and I also got to do some language immersion stuff, which is amazing. Other things that I needed to consider were queer friendly environment. Barcelona is awesome if you're queer. Any kind of avenue you can like think of, we got representation in Barcelona. Um, I really wanted to be away for as long as I could manage. So the max I could really handle was 3 months, but that's also a really good amount of time to be abroad. Um, and I just really wanted Spanish speaking. Um, so Barcelona is in Spain, Western Europe, and Barcelona is in the northeast corner up close to France, which if I had done some more research before I went off to Barcelona, I would have realized the official language is Catalan. Who knew? So I didn't gain as much Spanish proficiency as I'd hoped, but I don't regret it, obviously. I still learned more than I would have in a classroom. Um, and I got some really great networking opportunities for tutoring English, which was my immediate career path after graduation. So I thought that was really cool to get some um, work experience basically while I was abroad. But yeah, do your research on location. A touristy area like Barcelona is going to be more likely to speak English. And then people interested in talking to an American probably want to just practice their English. So just something to think about. For me, first impressions of Barcelona were that it was a really well planned city, but densely populated. All accessible by metro. I never missed having a car. Whereas living in Portland, I like could not imagine not having my car. Um, there is a lot of richly layered history that's visible in the architecture, and that kind of goes for all of Spain. And that was one of my big motivations for going to Barcelona specifically. Kind of on the downside, though, Barcelona specifically, there's heavy and constant tourism. So it's a really popular place to visit, and there's some drawbacks, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. There were some things that took getting used to. I lived on the fourth floor of an apartment, really old building, and my legs kind of hurt the first couple days going up and down those staircases. And a lot of the buildings are older, so they're not very accessible, right? There's no ADA in Spain. So if accessibility is an issue, you'll want to be planning that before you ever pick your program. Keep that in mind. One unexpected bonus was that I got a rooftop view while I hung my laundry, and I got accustomed to a different style of living. The apartment had some problems, leaks, and at first I was really like averse to that, and I kind of wanted out of the situation. And I toured a more modern apartment, but my roommate would have been French. Um, so I decided to stay put because my landlady was from Mexico, lived in Barcelona for a long time. My roommate was from Madrid, and I had access to cultural information and language practice that I just wouldn't get otherwise. So that homestay type of experience was like really worth it for me and my goals specifically. You'll definitely experience culture shock in some ways that you wouldn't expect, right? So, like in Portland and like the US, I feel like people are a little more standoffish. They need concrete plans. Timeliness is really important. And my friend Lidio just walked into my life totally unplanned. She was a friend of my landlady's, and at first I tried to kick her out of my apartment, right? But once I kind of let go of my American expectations of kind of how you behave in somebody else's home. I ended up with what I think is a lifelong friend. So culture shock can be uncomfortable, but really beneficial to the experience. Grocery shopping was something I had to like totally like rethink. All right, they don't have Walmart in Spain, so um, for me, art and architecture was really really important and a huge motivation. La Sagrada Familia in particular. Um, Once you go there, you kind of realize tourism ruins everything. But I did get this amazing experience in this church that I had always wanted to see. But on the way, I discovered some like hidden gems I never would have seen otherwise if I didn't get to go there myself. Um, Spain and a lot of Europe is really accessible by train. I got to go on some really amazing day trips and short overnight trips. Girona, in particular, was this amazing city with a whole intact Roman wall, and so you got to see this really ancient history built up in a small confined place over like you know a long period of time. So the variance of architecture is really striking. So you get this really modern building and then something more classical. Um, you are also close to more regional things. So a plane ride is quick and really inexpensive. So you get to see the natural landscape, more varied architecture in a different region. Bilbao is very different from Barcelona and ended up being some of my best language practice, which was kind of funny and unexpected. These are some other places I got to see on day trips, just by train or metro. Really, really incredible. So your metro card gets you everywhere. Like I said, there's heavy and constant tourism, which is having some negative effects in the city. So I would see these protests pretty regularly, and the protests were also like very political. So part of the planning and development of the city was really focused on tourism and that income that they could generate, but it has created an environment that's become unlivable. So like these famous places, La Boqueria and La Rambla, used to be kind of cultural hubs for locals, and it's been transformed into this like kind of carnival of tourism. So you learn things about the world you don't expect at all. Skills gained. Why you want to do a study abroad. You're going to be more adaptable and flexible, and that's really important in the job market. You're going to be comfortable with ambiguity. Not everything is going to be certain and laid out. You're going to get access to networking opportunities you didn't know were available to you. Your communication skills are going to be expanded in a huge way. So, second language skills, and then just how you use English to relate to other people who are using English as their second language. Um, a study abroad makes you more employable. Employers want people that have done a study abroad and lived in a culture different from their own, especially if they did a language element. You're probably going to get a higher starting salary. Graduate school is going to be easier to get into, and career paths will open up that you wouldn't have expected. So now my job is to help support you as you pursue the Gilman International Scholarship. Hopefully, I inspired you to do a study abroad. Do some research, pick a city, visit the Vikings Abroad website, and contact me with questions and assistance editing your essay. March 5th is your deadline if you're looking for fall. My email is lentsmat, 1T, lentsmat at pdx.edu, and I will put links throughout. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.